Now in religion you have a number of different religions. You have the Catholics and the Protestants and the so on, so on, so on. Some believe in the Pope and some don't. And you have the Muslims, and you have so there's a whole variety of a whole expanse of people who believe in God, but believe it in different ways. And each one, I assume, believes that their God is the one true God. So, in arts, we have, at one time there was mostly painting and sculpture 400 or 500 years ago, or 600 years ago. And then there was always an argument which was the best, which was the top. Was it painting, was the superior art, or was it sculpture? And since then we have photography, we have a number of different arts now. And so the question then is, which is the highest of arts? And there is no answer. It depends on what you happen to be into. Myself, I'm a painter. So when I talk about art, basically I'm talking about being a painter. And that doesn't exclude all the other arts. For people who are in the other arts, there's still something about art, just like there's something about God that everyone believes in, or trusts in, or has faith in. And so, I'm talking about, when I say the book of art, and I'm talking about painting as a painter, that's what I'm focusing on. But the fact that I'm talking about art applies to all the other arts, sculpture, etc., etc. Do you follow that? It's important that you understand that, because I don't want to exclude the other arts when I talk about art. But I don't know that much about. I've done some sculpture and I've done printmaking. I've done a number of things, but I don't. My main focus has always been painting. So and I've chosen Van Gogh, for example, or even Picasso as my main focus in who I think is the ultimate in art, the ultimate artist. So maybe I've cleared that up. But I want to show you something today about painting. So we're going to be talking about painting, how it works as a creative force. This is painting. Painting. Okay. To start a painting, you start with a line. Maybe you add colors. Starts to branch out, different forms, etc., etc. And generally what happens as you add these, you begin to lose it, you might say, from what you started. But eventually they all pull together at the end and you have your painting. Now a good example of this, of what can happen to this, is there's a good movie called The Mystery of Picasso. The Mystery of Picasso. I think it was 1955 or 56 film, a French film. And they filmed Picasso in the creative process. They put it wasn't some had done in glass, but this one wasn't done in glass. It was some kind of a paper or canvas that you could see through, and they filmed from the other side. You couldn't see Picasso, you could only see the paint going on. At any rate, that's a good example. I suggest you get that movie and look at it, because it's particularly those who want to paint, because it shows this process here, and I'll show you what happened with Picasso. Picasso starts out here with the line. Before you know it, He's going like this, but then he goes this way too. He jumbles it all up. You don't know where he's going. And all at once, from all this jumble, there it is. But what's even more important about Picasso, when he gets to this spot, he doesn't stop. He continues on. And it becomes, again, all tangled and twisted up, and all at once, he pulls it together. He might do that 3 or 4 times. And you can watch it happening. It's amazing how that works. He'll take this jumble and just all at once pull it together. And you'll say, oh, please, stop right there. That's perfect. But he doesn't. He keeps right on going. And then he pulls it together down here. Whole different painting. It's amazing. But this is basically the process. You start out with a line, and then you add and add. And at some points along here, the artist gets a little discouraged because he thinks he's lost it. There's still, there's so much going on here that it looks like, I don't know if I can pull this together. And then all at once, by working on it, it comes together. So that's a lesson for you artists, you painters. Go look at this movie, The Mystery of Picasso. And look what I'm telling, and follow what I'm saying. And you'll begin to understand that process. So then, anytime you ever get stuck up here, you have to remember to hang with it. Eventually it'll come together. Most people, when you go to see an art painting somewhere, you only see this. You don't realize that this went on there. But this is what goes on. That's how it works. Okay. Send me an email, go to my website, and I'll see you next week.